So maybe just a little bit of background. This is your first feature film for both of you?
It's the first feature I've directed. Ian wrote and produced and starred in a previous feature as well.
Yeah, called Here's the Kicker. It played festivals probably like 2 years ago. And then since then I've produced another one as well, but we didn't get to write it. So called The Cabining. It's coming out. It's a horror comedy coming out shortly here, I think. So.
Excellent. Well, very interesting premise. You know, what would you do? Fake your own death. I know it's something that I have morbidly thought about before. Like, wouldn't it be interesting who would show up at your funeral?
Everyone has.
Yeah. So how did this all come about? How did you guys decide to make a movie about this?
I faked my death once, and no. Go
Every
ahead.
few years, Ian does. Well, actually, the concept was yours, right?
I think so, yeah. I think I started writing a different script that was a little bit smaller feeling, and the guy wasn't as much of a jerk, and we had shelved it. I wrote like 60 pages or something, and then we shelved it. We started working on something else. And then we were like, I don't know how we came.
We saw something in the news. I can't even remember what it was, but we saw something that suddenly made us think, if we're ever going to make this movie, it has to be now.
I remember what it was.
It just has to be right now. So
Kristen Wiig
Wiig
had a movie called Imogene that I heard got greenlit, and it was about this woman who fakes her own death, and we were like, oh man, come on.
Oh, we gotta make it, we gotta make it.
Yeah. This can't happen to us. The concept is too good, so we just, we started writing, and
turns out Imogene was very different.
Way different.
It got
I don't
renamed
even think
since,
I don't think it's even
But it was very
about that,
different,
really.
but it was sort of like that, and we could just feel that social media was really in the air. So, and we had particularly, I don't know, we had opinions about it too, and it felt like it was one of those topics that anytime it comes up, it's divisive. Like, people just have all kinds of strong opinions about social media, it seems like, so.
Well, that's a good segue into the next question, because I know when I was asked to come do Q&A, the first thing I did was look you guys up on Twitter, and there's like 9 tweets, and I was like, oh, well, they're doing a movie about social media, but there's not really a strong social media presence. So what is your opinion on social media?
Well, I was actually a freshman in college at Columbia when Facebook was invented, and Columbia was one of like I think after Harvard, it then went to I think Columbia and Yale like a month later. So I joined like 2 months after it was started. So I saw it in like this period of time where it was really benign and small, and the people you were friends with you actually knew, and the pictures that you saw, and it was all like the news feed didn't exist. It felt very manageable and like actually useful. And then over time, it expanded obviously to what it is now, and it's gargantuan and sort of it's like a quantity over quality approach, and you don't know how, I have friends with people, I don't even remember how I know them, because we became friends in college, and here we are years and years later, and so it's I don't know.
I just stalk people online. I mean, for years now, but
in any event, I had this sort of like personal like journey with Facebook, but I'm at the point now where I'm just very overwhelmed by it. I go on and I have, like I said, all these friends, a lot of which I don't even know, and I'm like, I can't even begin to think about how I will deal with this newsfeed thing. So, and then there's so much data in the world now, just in general, that the idea of wrapping your mind around it is, there's a lot of other stuff, so.
So social media is perhaps not the best way to make friends since the phone book?
Well, I don't know. Ian, what do you think?
I'm still a phone book guy myself.
Yeah.
I mean, we it's weird. I feel like social media has grown on me over the past year, especially Facebook. I don't know why, but I look at it like every day, and I have nothing to say, and I don't post anything, and I look at it, and I'm like, oh, wonder what my friends are doing, like.
Which is funny because I don't, and so you'll say, "Oh, I saw so and so had a baby." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Really? How'd you know?"
'Cause I know
Oh, right, Facebook,
Yeah.
which I never go on anymore.
And I feel bad when I don't wish somebody a happy birthday, or like if they post something like, oh man, their kid's really ugly, but I need to like the picture anyway. I'm just kidding.
So bad.
All of my, we're from LA, everybody's
All your
gorgeous.
friends have
The
beautiful
children.
children.
Are gorgeous too.
It's a safe room here. Nobody will say
Good,
anything.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
If we can talk a little bit about the characters that you both played. One was perhaps a little bit crazy, and the other one was kind of a douchebag, as it said in the credits. How was it to make these characters and then play them? Like, did you ever want to sort of redeem them a little bit more, make them a little more lovable, a little truer to who you were?
Well,
Yeah, we,
this is interesting, actually.
yeah, honestly, in the beginning, when we were writing it for me to play the lead role, like, because, you know.
We wrote the entire thing and
We-
like all like 12 million drafts that we went through.
Yeah, we
He
thought it was gonna
supposed
be-
to play the lead.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be shot for like $15, and
Yeah.
we started passing the script around, and we're fortunate enough to get $30, American, not Canadian. And so we were like, you know, we should probably look into getting somebody who can do a better job than I would be able to do, and we just loved Ryan. We were big fans of Party Down, and went to his agent and gave him the script, and he liked it. Next thing you know, it kind of happened quickly, and Ryan was on board, and I was like, well, this will be great because I'll be able to produce full time and kind of sit in the background and all of that stuff.
And you got to play Kev.
And then it was like, well, I'm going to pick another part to play, like, because I'm a narcissist. And I was like, I want to play the bad guy, but I'm going to mess up my hair really bad for it. So Kev was the role.
The villain roles really are so much fun to play.
They really are.
It's such a delight to be able to just not worry about if you're likable and
Yeah.
like not care how you look. It's freeing. And when we were writing, the character that I ended up playing kind of came into she wasn't really she wasn't in the outline at first, and then as we got sort of further into it, we were like, we need something, we need like a big conflict, something really big, and then we came up with a stalker, and then we figured, hey, this will be in place. It was a bromance all along, so we knew there wasn't going to be a female love interest per se, but it was a way to bring a female character in somehow. So it was, and I've been acting for a long time, so it's kind of a no-brainer that if there was a female role remotely my age, I'd probably want to play it, but yeah.
Julia Roberts said no, also.
That too.
Turned it down.
Yeah.
That's fair. At least you
It
gave
would've
her
been
the
better,
opportunity.
but yeah.
And I believe, are we taking questions from the audience as well?
Sure.
If anyone has any questions?
Bueller?
Oh, yeah.
How did you obtain the financing of your $30?
We passed the script around to as many people as we possibly could, and we're lucky enough to find somebody that believed in it and believed in us and had seen our previous film, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, it was a few private equity.
That you knew, or just other actors, or what?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Did you pass it around to producers that you knew, or to other actors?
I passed it to everyone under the sun. Anybody
Friends of
that would
friends,
say,
yeah.
even like kind of give me like a, yeah, I'll read it. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh yeah, I'll send it to you. Don't worry. Yeah. So everyone I could. Yeah.
And the same with your previous feature.
Yeah, and the previous
And,
feature
yeah.
was, I even, kicked like a bunch of my own money into it. And the last one was more crowdsourcing than this one, but yeah, you just have to give it to everyone, and more lines in the water, and you hope you get a bite. Sure.
It also helps when your budget's not very big to begin with.
Yeah.
Because getting to the goal is a little easier than getting to a much bigger goal.
Yeah.
So,
For sure. Any other questions? If you're in this area, I can't really see, so. Oh.
The stalker's Facebook name, is there any meaning to that?
Say that again?
Stalker's Facebook name, is there any meaning?
The Room of Life.
Oh, sorry, I didn't read that one.
Yeah, the joke throughout was they kept calling him whatever, Room Malif, and then it was, yeah.
I thought it was
Ruined my
a
life.
great moment when Michael's like, ruined my life, right? Because I think that was the
love
exact
that.
same time when I watched it the first time. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that totally makes sense. But I
Yeah,
had
most
pronounced
people
it.
don't, yeah, you don't, if you miss that one line, you would miss, because you wouldn't necessarily like think of it, so.
Very important question.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite bro reference in the movie?
I like Broseph Gordon-Levitt.
Broseph
That was
Gordon-Levitt, for sure,
I
yeah.
think Bro
He's so
Montana
dreamy.
was also so great. At what point did you just start looking up Joe names so you could be like,
Those
Oh.
are
Bro Lee?
Zach, who played Joel, and I mean, we still do it to this day. We'll
Yeah.
be texting each other, and he just got a job on, he's one of the leads in the new Stars show, Black Sails, which is a Michael Bay produced, kind of like Game of Thrones, but with pirates.
It's not out
And
yet. It's coming out in
It comes out in January, but I sent him a thing when I saw that he got cast. It was bro, and a bottle of rum. You're a pirate, ha ha ha.
That's
So,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's excellent. It seems like it was a lot of fun to make as well.
Oh yeah, we
it
had
was
a blast.
great. Yeah, shot 23 days, and it was absolutely insane. Just long days, and there was never enough time, but that's kind of the fun. of
Never a
making
dull
movies.
moment either.
Yeah.
So.
It was
Any
really fun.
good stories from the set?
Let's see. Well, we shot it in and around Hollywood. Trying to think.
Were there any good stories? Oh
I don't
man.
know. God, there
Wow,
were.
that's
but we
the
shot
toughest
a year
question
ago.
we've
A little
gotten.
over a year ago.
Yeah.
I'll think
Nothing
of
with the
something.
chicken or anything?
Nothing with a chicken.
With the chicken? Where you
with
had like
raw chicken.
Oh.
That was pretty great.
Oh, that was
They
gross.
created-
They got me good on that one. So
It was.
they, our makeup department and props and everything mixed the fake vomit for me. And we'll just put it this way: I would have rather had real vomit in my mouth
Yeah.
than what they gave me. It was horrible.
It was,
so-
it was basically a combination of what was on the craft service, like snack table, basically. So like muffins with like relish. And what else?
Salsa.
Yes, there was salsa. There was definitely salsa.
It was just supposed to be
awful.
oatmeal.
I think
like,
there was
just why can't there just be oatmeal? But what they gave
Yeah.
me was so bad that I was gagging during that scene, and I sprayed the cameraman at one take. Just,
And of course, I know Ian so well. I'm like, I just need one more take. Come on, one more. And
Yeah.
this time, can you just I want it
gotta
more
be
like
kidding me.
more like out, not so much down. Can you just spew it out? So poor Ian was just like, seriously, again? Only
But it was
because I
awesome.
know you well.
It was
and it's
awesome,
okay.
yeah.
But yeah, it was funny and fun.
Oh, we have another question.
So how much of a challenge, and does it slow things down a lot to be directing yourself?
It's hard. It's really hard. And I actually directed a web series prior to this where I played the lead, not like a supporting role, but the lead, and I was in like full prosthetic old age makeup the whole time. So it was like, get to set at 4 a.m., 4 hours of makeup, then everybody else gets there, then you shoot, and then you wrap, and then 2 hours getting out of makeup, and then you get up the next day and you do it again, and directing. So it was absolutely crazy. It was only a web series, thank God, so only like a few shooting days at a time. But after doing that, this was actually, it's kind of like, oh, good, I don't have to get there at 4 a.m. I can, get there when everyone else does. But it is definitely still very challenging, and I think I preferred the days when I didn't have to also act, because you can just not care what you look like and focus entirely on the directing, and it's, as you can imagine, it's difficult.
Anyone else? Oh, I'm gonna go back there and then.
So, do you have distribution for this film now, or are you looking, or?
No, you're
Not
the first
yet.
people that have ever seen it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming.
Thank you for being an
Thank you
awesome
very
audience
much.
and laughing.
Yeah, nobody's seen it yet. We just finished it about a month ago, and
We're just starting that whole process.
Yeah,
that
somebody
will
I know
culminate in
recommended
selling the film.
Edmonton Film Festival, and we submitted. Todd Berger. Yeah, yeah. And so, submitted and fortunate enough to get in.
Yeah.
So,
we're-
yeah.
We're glad to be here.
And then soon a trailer will be hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have nothing yet. We don't even have a poster yet. It's so new to us.
Or sort of, there's all these options of bringing on reps, and then they would have input on what your marketing materials would be. And so we're sort of like, well, let's take this one step at a time and just, you got to suss it out. But we'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. There was a lot of like quick banter back and forth when you were talking. Was the script pretty tightly written, or was it kind of just on the fly? Like you had a general idea?
It was really tightly written.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
had most scenes memorized by the time we were shooting, and an
Yeah.
actor would go up on their line, and I was like, "Yeah, no, it's but like, not in an annoying way, but like in a like a efficiency way." And some of them were like, "Seriously, you know this whole scene?" We just hammered it out so much. And there's
yeah.
definitely some improv.
Yeah, there's some improv. There are a few lines here and there, like some button lines that we felt were just too good to, especially Ryan has a couple
man.
that guy's just hilarious.
He is like so insanely funny.
What was it? What was that line in the living room?
All the all the stuff about like was that a gay joke?
Yeah.
Munching
That's
on V and all that.
Yeah.
I was just banging chicks at my funeral. A lot of that was like
Ryan.
improvised within the structure of what was written.
Yeah, he had a couple more too that were just
Oh, yeah.
really gems. And then there's a few that didn't make it in too that we were like, we should leave it because it's so funny, but
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah. Yeah, really Ryan and the guy who plays Emil, his name is James Imicus, they had never met before the shoot, and they met like a few days before we started shooting, and they had this great chemistry.
Fantastic
and
chemistry.
It was really serendipitous. And they're both just insanely funny and have the most amazing timing. It was like a dream to work with them. Should do a take, and you're like, well, that was awesome. Let's do it again for camera, but like that was great. So we're fortunate.
I feel like I'm in like the kids' table or something.
I can help you out.
I think you can raise the mic if you'd like.
I think it's your chair, maybe it's lower.
Any other questions? Oh, yeah.
I was just wondering, like, what is your background in filmmaking? Like, did you just decide one day to make a film, or did you take that in school, or is it a lifelong passion, or what are your backgrounds?
Yeah, is that for both of us?
Yes.
Okay. You wanna go?
I studied theater in college in Chicago, and knew I always wanted to do film, and then went from there to Los Angeles and started acting in a really great acting class that Jeff Goldblum teaches. And then Jeff had kind of been instrumental in telling me, you should write, you have good ideas, you should be a writer, yes. And so I started writing, and then, eventually started making films, and brings us to where we're at. It's been a long road for me.
You learn so much on set.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just like having the balls to sort of know what you want,
Or the lady balls.
or the lady balls, know what you want, ask for it, and then be okay with like messing up or looking like an idiot sometimes, and trusting the people you're working with.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I started as an actor, like when I was, middle school, like many of us do. But then in college, I studied screenwriting as well. And then after I graduated, I was acting and kind of writing in my spare time. When Ian and I met and had worked together, we realized we had similar, like a compatible writing style, so we started working together. And then from there, I just always had in the back of my mind that I wanted to direct, and then finally said I'm like passionate enough about these particular scripts we've written, and like I'm gonna go on a limb and do it. And I didn't know all the technical stuff at that time, but you pick it up really quickly, and it's it's more, a lot of it I think is intuitive, but the storytelling part is really like the most important part, I think, of directing for me anyway. And the
Sarah
technical
played
stuff can-
she was the lead role in the last feature we did. That's actually how we met.
Yeah, we met working on that,
We cast her in the role for that.
so.
And you both are now engaged as well.
We are, yeah. We don't lead
We don't
with
tell
that.
people that.
It's fine, it's
Cat's
not
out
a
of the bag,
secret,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
we're getting married in 2 weeks.
In like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
And has there been any towing issues between the two of you?
Any what issues?
Has your car been towed? Any parking
Oh,
tickets?
oh. I thought that was like a Canadian term for like fighting or something.
No, we just call it fighting.
Towing issues. No, my car's never been towed, I don't think.
That you know of, no? But, I drove your car once and no, I'm kidding. It's,
I don't
no.
I mean, I get road ragey, but you know, who doesn't,
Oh,
right?
it's
Especially
bad.
in LA.
Yes, beware if you ever go for a ride with Ms. Smick over here.
Yeah, I don't think we've been towed.
They put
but-
those handles here, we call them oh shit handles, for a reason. Oh shit! Oh!
Excellent. Any other questions? In the red?
What's it like playing the crazy person or the villain? Like, do you have to kind of get out of yourself and get into another self?
Yeah, I mean, that's for me also one of the challenges of doing the whole acting, directing thing, is when you're just acting, you're able to sort of get in that mindset and stay in it, you know, or more or less, you're in it kind of the whole day, whatever, off and on. But then, you know, jumping in and out of that is harder. But yeah, I think it's just being willing to go there, I guess. And because we had written the characters, it wasn't, the preparation was easier in the sense that we had lived with them for so many months that, you know, jumping in to play them was like more like,
No,
don't
I
know,
didn't
just
play a
automatic.
crazy person at all. My character was completely normal and
the only one-
justified
only
in
sane
all
one
of his
there.
actions. Really, that's why I like to tell people this film's really about a guy who stumbles upon a douchey meter maid faking his death. In my mind, at least, it is.
He drives a very classy yellow car with a personalized license plate.
Of course,
Yes,
of course he does.
he's clearly the lead of the movie.
clearly.
Clearly.
Can we just talk a little bit about the dog room?
Mm-hmm.
Is that character secretly a furry with the dog costume? What was kind of the whole story behind the obsession with dogs?
Go ahead.
Trying to think how it developed. We wanted to
Oh,
give
you didn't know, so you pointed to me. I see
basically,
now.
yeah. Surprised you didn't know that before I started talking.
I pointed to you because I don't remember.
Yeah, no, I think, well, we knew we wanted to create a character that, it came out of Emil's character as being this sheltered sort of, I hate to use the term mama's boy, but essentially that. So it came
Yeah,
from that.
And we wanted a guy who was lonely and didn't have friends. And I think it says a lot when you have, you know, your best friend in your world is your dog, and then your dog even runs away from you and leaves you.
We both love dogs too.
Yeah.
And we don't have one, so I do kind of like that idea of a dog lover who doesn't have a dog.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of
It all
funny.
goes back to the concept of friendship and, you know, what does friendship mean for certain people and how, you know, does it come about in their own lives. Some people are more animal people and, you know, more reserved when it comes to being social and with humans. And, but, you know, they'll talk weird to their dog and, you know, have relationships with their dog, like it's, you know, treat it like it's a human. And a lot of times, you know, the dog responds like a human would, that, you know.
Well, it's a relationship,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think also the idea of that room and that space being this like really weird, like just strange place that only Emil and his mom quite understand. I feel like it's emblematic of like the vulnerability that you really need to have in a friendship for it to have like the deep roots that really, you know, strong friendships have. And I think like for Emil to invite somebody into that space is like a big deal because he's showing such a weird side of himself. So, you know, that's like, would you open your underwear drawer and show it to any old person? Probably not. In order to be vulnerable with people that much, I think that's kind of, for me at least, and some of my deeper relationships. It's pretty integral. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, oh, back there.
What was the thinking behind making Emil's mother be of a different race? Was it just kind of random, or did you have?
She was legit. She was the best actress that came out for the role. She wasn't written that way.
She was not written that
She was
way
just,
at
like,
all.
so freaking
And,
good.
Yeah,
They were
our
like,
casting
crap,
director,
what do we
Nicole
do?
Arbusto, was, you got to see this one woman. She's fantastic. And she brought her in. And I remember just talking to her in the audition, and she broke down, and like, we were just like, oh my God, that's the woman. Like, we have to rewrite it. And so we rewrote it for her.
Yeah,
That was a really good touch to have that.
Thanks.
it worked out.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked without her. She's really
Yeah, she's so good.
phenomenal actress. Angela Bullock.
She
is
does
her name.
theater. We saw her in a play recently too, and
She's
like,
just phenomenal.
Holy crap,
Yeah.
she's so talented.
Yeah, she's completely full in everything she does.
All right, well, we do have to wrap up.
Yeah.
Did you guys want to give us any final thoughts, any upcoming projects, the perhaps horror comedy that you're working on?
Yeah, I mean that's not really ours. We have we're in between two different scripts right now that we have. We don't know which one we're going to do next, but they're both really funny.
We do comedy. We have a web series too that just screened at a festival in Vermont last
won,
weekend, and actually
actually.
won Best of the Festival, which was like a crazy surprise, which we're not
Yeah.
expecting. But it's that was the one with the prosthetic makeup. So
Yeah, it's called Old Souls.
check it out. It's on YouTube.
It's like Tootsie Meets the
Facebook.
Golden Girls. It's about two 25-year-old girls who can't get cast as actresses because they have too much of an old soul feel to them. And so they get prosthetic makeup and start going out for old lady roles.
Think Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
So
Excellent. It's also a good plug that you can vote when you leave the theater, so make sure to vote for Friended to Death. Thank you very much for bringing the movie here and screening
Thank
it
you
for
guys
us.
so much for
Yeah, thank you for
coming
coming
and
out.
sticking through it and not walking out. Thank you.
thank you. It was fun.
Have a good night.
Good night.